Chapter 1. A New Customer. I used to think dogs were easy. Simple creatures with big hearts and wagging tails that have an innate desire to please the people in their lives. Now I'm not sure what I believe anymore. Volunteering at the Positive Pet Foster Home for fur babies changed my ideas about dogs, changing me full stop. You'd think I'd be used to life-altering transformations by now. I almost died not even 6 months ago. Thankfully, I survived the nefarious attack. However, I didn't walk away unscathed. I gained a new and creepy ability. I can see people's secrets with a single touch. Not the best superpower for a massage therapist. That's why I took my talents to dogs and got myself into a whole heap of trouble. Corky! My bestie called me as I toted my massage bag into the foster home. She trailed behind me, apprehension smeared across her face. Don't leave me behind. Stella Michaels wasn't a wallflower. Why she needed me to guide her into the dog home was beyond me. They're dogs, not raptors. They could turn on you in a second, Stella said. I don't trust them. I agreed to drive you out here, but I don't think I can hang out with you in here. You don't have to, I said, setting down my duffel. Go hang out at the diner down the street. Down the street was a 20-minute drive. Positive Pet Rehab Ranch was outside of town. Although our small town, Dead Horse Canyon, was all about animals, owning a ranch big enough to host as many dogs as Positive houses forced them to set up business outside of city limits. There wasn't much around them. Stella rolled her eyes. I'm not an animal person, she whined under her breath. No one is asking you to be one. A tall man in dark jeans and cowboy boots hurried past, carrying an armful of kittens. Stella pivoted in her sneakers and trailed him. Now it was my turn to roll my eyes. I didn't have long to scoff at my love-questioning friend. Mrs. Lizzie Stone, the operator of the foster home, spotted me from across the large living room. She waved at me before approaching. I swiftly hoisted my bag to my chest. Hugs were dangerous for me. Any touch could lead me down a rabbit trail of bad vibes and dark secrets. I preferred to get to know people via conversation and experience. I didn't care to intrude on Mrs. Stone's hidden thoughts. Hopefully my duffel bag would do the trick. Mrs. Stone came in for a side hug but pulled away when she noticed my bundle. She stretched her hand to me. I shook it, happy I had worn my faux leather gloves. They were the only thing I'd found to fend off the secrets. Lizzie's suspicious look was nothing compared to what I'd faced during the summer. Thankfully, autumn was in full tilt, giving me more cause to sport gloves and long sleeves. Tearing her eyes away from my hands, Lizzie dropped hers to her side. Follow me, her cheery voice said. She led me past the large living room with concrete flooring and a large gray stone fireplace. That must be nice in the winter. I gestured to the shabby chic hearth. Lizzie's face lit up. You can't imagine. All the pups snuggle up as the flames flicker. It's amazing. Lizzie nearly cooed at the thought. I'm sure it is. But nothing's as good as this. Lizzie Stone rolled the sliding glass door open and stepped outside. Beyond the concrete porch floor was lush green grass. The fences were barely a speck on the horizon. Dogs charged freely through burnt orange leaves and lounged on chewed-up lawn furniture. Puppies yapped and bounced in a protected chain link section as the elder dogs napped on huge outdoor pillows. I can see why you like it here, I told Lizzie. Her smile widened as 2 dogs strolled up to lick her palms and sniff her feet. These 2 are mine, she explained. The brown one is Izzy, and the golden one is Olive. They're my forever babies. I'd claim all of them if I could. I'm sure, I said, watching her love her animals. They followed us as we walked farther into the backyard. I wondered what mischief Stella was up to while Lizzie led me to the side of the house, where a large barn overlooked the busy yard. These are the dogs I'd like you to look at. I frowned, suddenly nervous about the job at hand. Lizzie caught my sudden deflation. They're not dangerous. Most of them are elderly and in need of some TLC. But there is one that I'd love to see come out of her shell. I'll do what I can. My massage training was human-based. The online course I'd aced gave me the information needed to help animals. This was my first time implementing my new skills. The barn's interior was toasty and cozy, much like the inside of Lizzie's ranch-style home turned sanctuary. 4 dogs greeted us with a slight head tilt and tail wag. too tired or too comfortable to be bothered by our presence. Another dog sat in the back of the barn, coiled around its tail. A husky mix with tan coloring. It kept its eyes trained on our every move and whimpered. My heart went out to the lonely dog. "Let's start with Leroy," Lizzie said, pointing to an old codger of a hound. "He has arthritis, but he's sweet to the bone." I doubted Lizzie had anything bad to say about a single one of her foster puppies. She just had that sort of presence about her. I'd love to be remembered as one of those people who never spoke a bad word about anyone else. Sadly, that would never be the case. I'd never be able to hold my tongue regarding a few select folks in town. Namely, Melinda Carley, my arch nemesis who has a grudge against me. Like, stealing my high school boyfriend wasn't punishment enough. I shrugged off thoughts of Mel and got to work. In the last few months, since the spa shut down for renovations, all its employees had to take on other jobs. Stella, the town's best facial specialist, took the odd home appointment, but she moonlighted at the Belly Up Burger joint. There, she served up shakes and fries with enough snark to spice up any meal. I'd gone back to classes for a few weeks, learning the ins and outs of animal massage and acupressure. Now it was time to put my talents to use. "Okay, Leroy," I said to the dog as I kneeled next to him. The hound waddled over and placed his big-eared head in my lap. This job was going to be cake. I ran my hands over his back, waiting for secrets to flood over me. Nothing. Not even the soft buzz of honesty greeted my tired mind. I sighed happily. With a yoga mat in place of a massage table, I got to work, thrilled at the new prospect of getting paid without other people's baggage. Lizzie settled in with a pack and greeted each dog by name as I rubbed at shoulders, hips, paws, and floppy ears. After Leroy, I chucked the gloves and let my fingers remember their job. Occasionally, thoughts of chasing birds or eating dinner wafted up from the relaxing dog in front of me. It wasn't anything I couldn't handle. Their secrets were delightful and soothing. Yet, all the while, I could sense the lonely dog watching me. Lizzie frowned. "I had hoped Montana would wander over here when she saw the other dogs being treated." "What happened to her?" "What makes you so sure anything happened to her?" Lizzie asked. I shrugged and patted Oscar on the back. His massage was complete. The dog walked away with more pep in his step than when he'd dragged himself to my massage mat. "The rest are old or aging. I see creaky joints and paling patches of fur. But Montana, looks different." Lizzie nodded in approval. "Good catch. She's traumatized. I've been slowly re-engaging her with the other dogs. These 4 are the most gentle of my tribe. They'll probably live out their last years here if I can't find them homes. But Montana's only 3. She still has a lot of life left in her if I can get her to want to live it." "You mean she's depressed?" I'd never really contemplated dogs getting the blues. Whenever I felt a mood coming on, I prayed, then treated myself to a sugar-free iced coffee. What did a dog do? "That's exactly what I mean. Her owner died, and she's mourning." My throat hitched. "Poor baby," I said. "Didn't her owner have any family that wanted Montana?" Lizzie shook her head sadly. "Her roommate and best friend couldn't handle the daily reminder of her loss. Same with her fiancé. So she's here." I inched closer to the forlorn pooch. Lizzie stayed nearby in case I needed her. I didn't need a traumatized dog pouncing on me. I purred at her with encouraging words. "It's okay, girl," I said, moved by the dog's sorrow. "Maybe a little massage and a snuggle will help." Montana sat up. Her ears twitched as she listened to me talk. I would have been frightened to approach, except Lizzie seemed so confident. That and Montana's tail was wagging ever so slightly to the right. She was at least curious about me, if not happy at my presence. I stepped up beside her and held out my hand. Instead of sniffing it, she put her paw in my palm. "Aww," Lizzie said. Her hand flew to her chest. "Don't stop." "Hi, Montana," I said, talking to the dog as if she were a human client. "I'm Corky. Do you mind if I pet you a bit?" Montana didn't move her paw. I tentatively placed my other hand on top of hers and softly thumbed circles on her furry foot. She scooted closer to me, nudging me with her muzzle. "That's a good sign," Lizzie stated. Her cheerful face glowed with delight. "I like you too," I told the dog as I slowly stroked her back in long, fluid motions. What's got you feeling down, girl? I shouldn't have asked. Jolted by my gift, noises flooded over me. Tires screeching, glass shattering, a halted scream and then silence. Eerie and final silence. The visions came next. I knew it. I broke contact with Montana before they could take over my senses. I think that's enough for today, Lizzie said. My heart fully agreed. I didn't think I could take much more. By the sounds coming from Montana's memories, I knew nothing good lay ahead. I don't want to push her too far. Her, I thought. What about me? Not that Lizzie knew anything about my supernatural ability. But Stella did, and she was nearby somewhere. I needed her, and now. Stella, being my bestie, held no secrets from me. This resulted in a brown noise hum whenever we touched. One of her amazing hugs would do the trick and calm my panicking self-defense mechanisms. I agree, I said, after pulling myself back up to the present. Can you come tomorrow? Lizzie asked. I was so desperate to get to my friend that I only half listened. Of course, I said without registering what I was agreeing to. I gathered my mat and my bag in a rush. Lizzie chattered the entire walk back to the front door. Stella spotted me heading her way. She examined me with her eyes as I forced myself to stop shaking. I can't believe you could reach her so soon, I heard Lizzie saying as I kept my eyes focused on the exit. Dogs know things about people that humans often miss. She sees something in you she can trust. Uh-huh, I answered, trying to explain my situation to Stella using only eye contact, widening mine and raising my brows. Stella responded with a subtle head nod. Montana's never reacted so tenderly to any of my volunteers. This is exactly what I've been praying for, Lizzie continued as she opened the door for Stella and me. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. You got it, I said, only registering the door shut behind me. Stella stared at me as we stood on the stoop, dumbfounded. It happened again, didn't it? I could only bring myself to nod. Stella's smile slowly stretched across her face in a very menacing fashion. Creepy was an understatement, but I knew what it meant. This is just what I need to get through another shift at Belly Up Burger, she said, then added, You've got a new customer, and we've got a new case.